So, about 2 years ago, a brand took the IAM world kind of by storm. Um, Subtonic decided to release a IAM that they felt was a reference IAM and would be better than any IAM that you've ever heard. Something that would bring a soundstage and a speaker-like sound to IAMs that was unheard of at the time. So they launched what we know as now as the Subtonic Storm. Well, they made 50 of them. They were a little bit over $5,000. Not a lot of people got their hands on them, but the people that did said that it was absolutely amazing. Well, finally, they had said that they were going to make a version that was a regular edition, besides the launch edition, which only had 50, and that time has finally come. We heard little squibbling. Sorry, my cat is trying to rub against Max. Come on, buddy. Just so you know. So anyway, they had said that they are going to make a regular edition. And when I was at Can Jam, was it SoCal? I was speaking to the guys and they were like, yeah, it's coming soon. We promise we will finally have a regular edition. So in November, they started posting on the social medias. Once that happened, of course, everybody went crazy. They were like, oh, finally be able to get a Storm. And the list finally came out. So if you want to purchase a regular edition Storm, they are out now. There's a list for them. They can only make 6 to 8 a month, so it would behoove you to get on the list quickly. The new price, though, which has a lot of people upset, which is understandable because it was around $5,000 when it came out, is $6,600. So that's a lot of money. So are they still viable to this day? Luckily, Tantrum from HeadFi, a really good guy, ran into him at the Denver Jam recently, has allowed me to borrow his launch edition Storm so I can do a review and decide for myself if I want to get on that list to eventually buy a Storm. So let's get to the unboxing. So, the Storm by Subtonic, or the Subtonic Storm. This is the awesome case that you get it in. This huge, very, very sturdy, very, very nice case. Kind of did this goofy because I left this open, but that's okay. So the Storm originally retailed for over $5,000. They only made 50 of them. This is a launch edition. So this is a very special one. And again, special thanks to my buddy Tantrum for letting me use and listen and review the Storm. So this is a case that you get. You pop this open, and in here you will find your frequency response and your information, your warranty information. This top part, close this, pop this open. I'm going to slide this back, and when you pull this out, this is where you will find your tips. You're also going to find your beautiful Toda pouch that has your Storm inside. A little bit more stuff like a cleaning cloth for you to clean your IMs. And you also have keys so you can lock this, which is pretty cool, pretty nice. But once you open this up, you will find your Storm. Of course, with something this expensive and something that has such beautiful faceplates, you'd want to keep them very much secure. So this is the launch edition Subtonic Storm, and that is the unboxing experience, which I think is pretty awesome that you get for it. This is also the Sovereign Symphony cable. So this is an upgrade cable that you can get with your Storm. It is a very thick cable. I wouldn't say it's a walking around and about cable because it's kind of thick and heavy, but it is a cable that if you're just sitting there stationary, it works pretty well. And it is absolutely beautiful cable. So yes, this is the unboxing for the Subtonic Storm Launch Edition. All right, let's talk about the fit and the finish when it comes to the Subtonic Storm. I think this is one of the most beautiful faceplates that you'll find. Handcrafted. It takes a while to make, hence why part of the reason only 6 to 8 can be made a month, is the making of that. The shell itself, to me, isn't overly large. It is a large shell, but it's not one that's uncomfortable. Now, I will say again, like I said before, the Sovereign Symphony cable is a very thick cable. It's a beautiful cable, but it is a very thick cable. It's not one, like I said before, to walk around and just kind of use in and around the house if you're walking around, because it is heavy and it'll tend to pull a little bit. But if you're stationary, then it is a great cable. When it comes to fitment and everything, the Storm fit really nicely in my ear. I haven't had any issues with them. And it's been very good. All right, so the most important thing is sound. What do the Subtonic Storms sound like? Are they as impressive as they were 2 years ago as they are now? And I can say unequivocally, yes. There's something about how the soundstage in the Storm is just unbelievable, in a sense where it gives you almost a speaker-like experience when listening to them. There is so much separation between every instrument, and then when it comes together as a whole, there are times that I'll sit there and listen to it, and I'm just enjoying all the sounds. But if you want to specifically get into individual sounds, the resolution is incredible. And they are tuned so that they are reference. So what does reference mean? It means uncolored. Some of us, like me, I like the W sound signature, so that means boosted treble, boosted mids, boosted. But with something like this, there's no boost. It is there to represent what a recording is intended to sound like, without any coloration, without anything like that. And when it comes to that, or something like, let's say that you're in a musical studio and you are listening to individual tracks and you want to make sure they sound good, this would be the perfect IEM. It was kind of made for that, for the reference tuning. So when it comes to just soundstage and resolution, it's just incredible. One of the fun things that I enjoyed doing was taking my Empyrean 2, my headphones, and comparing them side by side, listening to the same track. And what just blew my mind is how they compare when it comes to a soundstage, especially with an IEM, which is incredible. And the way that when the soundstage is fully open, like you're saying, listening to a fully open recording that has a huge soundstage where everything is spread out, it's comparable, which is hard to believe to say that about an IEM. Like, it's really something special. Lots of times you'll hear audiophiles and people like that say air between instruments, which also can mean separation between instruments. But just the way everything is separated, and it's very much speaker-like, where you have this sound, and then everything is very transparent, it's clear, the resolution is there. A guitar sounds like a guitar, a singer, female, male, sounds impressive, piano sounds extraordinary, and it's just everything in this big picture of sound, very much like if you had a 2-channel speaker system in front of you and you have all this sound coming at you. Another thing that was extraordinary too for me is that, you know, when you're listening to a 2-channel, and lots of times headphones, that you feel like, especially when something is bassy or some sounds envelope the room, when listening to a 2-channel, you get the same kind of feeling when listening to the Storm. Like, it's absolutely incredible. And I've been to, 5 can jams already, I believe? I have to count them out. But anyway, and listen to everything. And I have not yet heard an IEM that presents the sound like that. When it comes to just the projection of the sound, separation, just how everything has its own place. But it's not jarring in a way where it's something sticks out. It's all there in uniformity, and it just sounds brilliant. I ran these through so many different types of music. Michael League with the piano player, can't get off the top of the head, the Polyphias, the Billie Eilish's, classical, everything. And these just sound absolutely amazing. Now, my only thing would be for me is that because I like a different sound signature, these might not be for me. But I had to sit there and think. I'm like, variety is the spice of life. And the way this sound signature is just so pure and beautiful. And for certain pieces, it just sounds extraordinary on, especially like the older jazz albums or even some of the newer jazz albums, acoustic albums, acoustic guitar albums, live stuff sounds incredible. Like there's so many things that this IM can do well. And that's what kind of blows my mind about it. So, sound wise, I think they're even 2 years down because the launch edition and the regular edition are going to sound the same. It's extraordinary. There still isn't I have the Multiverse Mentor, and they have a huge soundstage, and they're great too when it comes to it. But it's not a speaker like. It's holographic, and you have the sound all around your head, but it's not presented with the separation of the Subtonic Storm. Like it's just on a whole different level of playing back music purely, naturally, and succinctly with the sound, with the wall of sound, much like speakers, sitting in a room. When the room fills up with the sound, you feel the same kind of feeling in an IM. And that's, to me, what makes the Storm absolutely awesome. It's just the way it presents the sound I have not heard in another IM. So sound-wise, we're talking about the bass. So it uses BA bass, but they use their own specific technology to drive the BA. And it's incredible. In a sense, I feel like they were trying to tune it where you get the best of BA, which is the speed, and then you get the decay of a dynamic driver. And it's almost like you get the best of two worlds in the bass. So the bass, to me, even though it's BA bass, and a lot of people hate BA bass, is the best BA bass I've ever heard. And it goes toe-to-toe with some of the best DDs. I feel that. Mids, incredible, separated, accurate. Trombones sound like trombones, trumpets sound like trumpets, guitars sound like guitars. I could go on with the list, but you get what I'm saying, that everything is accurately placed and shown within the music. It's awesome. Voices sounded great, males, females. There's weight to the notes. Like if you play guitar in a room and then you listen to it, you get the same feeling, which is incredible. But that's what reference tuning is supposed to be. Treble is area extended, all the platitudes. I listen to a lot of jazz that has a lot of great drummers, Yusuf Days, Yellow Jackets, and they like to use a lot of cymbals. Manu Katchou from France, and the cymbals sound incredible. Polyphia, you know how I like using Playing God, especially the drummer in that group is extraordinary too, and uses a lot of cymbals. Cymbals sound very good, very realistic, never too sharp, never sibilant, didn't run into any of those issues. So the treble is absolutely great. It's just so well tuned from top to bottom. So I really enjoy that. Again, if you are not into reference tuning, or you might find it boring, which if you're a guy like me, sometimes I can, just because, again, I like my music colored. So a little bit more bass, a little bit more mids, a little bit more treble. The Raven just kind of like throws it in your face. But if you want something more subdued, reference, realistic, this is a great freaking IM. So, is it Storm or buy? That's a tough question. It depends on your budget because this is going to be $6,600. It's not a cheap IM. If you want a pinnacle IM, though, if you want a IM that can do the best of the best and keep up with the best of the best and play music with the best of the best, if you want something that has probably the best coherent, large soundstage and IM that's speaker-like and headphone-like, then yes, this would be for you. Reference tuning, again, I've always sat there and said it's up to what tuning you like, and a tuning can make or break. That's the most important thing. It's not about the price. It's not about this or that. It's about the tuning and if you jive with the tuning. So if you're into reference tuning, this is I don't see anything else out there in IM form for reference that would be better than this. Maybe the Jewel, it will run with this, but I'd have to listen to the Jewel again. But again, when it just comes to the Subtonic Storm and the way that it presents the music, and if you want something pinnacle, the best, extraordinary, it is one of the top IMs that I've ever heard. In fact, A lot of times between the Bird, the Oriolis Chaly, and this one, I consider those two the best. So that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them down below. Talk to you soon.